Hello and welcome to this Unity shader graph tutorial. Uh, Before we start, we have to make sure that Unity 2018.2.1 is installed, and another thing which is if you go to the package manager, you'll have to be sure that you have shader graph package installed, and the render pipeline, which is just the lightweight render pipeline is installed because the shader graph is only working in the lightweight render pipeline for the moment. Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to make similar shader effect like in Hearthstone. We'll pick up one of the frame arts which is in the adventure. You can have a look there. There is a few of them, but today we are going to work on the Witchwood adventure frame art. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's start with the creating the lightweight render plane asset. So to do that, you have to go create and rendering lightweight pipeline asset. I have one already created over here, and you have to make sure in your graphics settings, which is under edit, project settings, graphics, you have assigned the lightweight asset in there, so the Unity shader graph work properly. And next we are going to create a new folder for our tutorial. We'll call it train art tutorial. Okay, and let's create another folder for our scene. And let's create the new scene. So the scene. Right. Scene. Let's say tutorial. Okay, good. Let's open a new scene. Okay, now we have the empty scene here, and let's bring our frame. So I'm bringing from the project models. This is our scene, our model. Okay, here is our model. Let's make it in the screen. Okay, let's see our camera, and we have to turn our camera to be on the right side. Okay, it should be like 90 degrees, and let's move it easy. So 0. Let's move on the right. Okay, see. Okay, so let's see this. Put it on 0, 0, 0. Okay, and I think I have to turn it right on the Y or 80, so it will be on the correct side. Okay, and let's make the camera look at the object. it's fine. Again, let's align our view to the camera so we can see the same thing. Okay, now we are done with the frame. Okay, now let's create new folder for the materials. This is a great new material folder. Okay, this is fine. Frame part. Another one for the frame. Okay, for this frame we're going to select lightweight rendering pipeline, the shader, the unlit shader, and let's use this. Let's pick up the frame texture. Okay, and let's assign the material to the frame, which is this and this. This one and this one. Okay. The second material will assign it to the frame art object, and we are done with the materials. Okay, now let's create new folder for the shader. Let's create new shader. We're going to create shader graph shader. So we have to go here, we select one of those three, and this is 3D shaders, but we're working on just a surface. We'll select the unlit one, which is not including the lighting and the light and the normal. So let's create a new one. We just need to work on the surface. So let's name it frame art. This is our shader. I think I have to add tutorial over here, so it will be not confusing with the other shader I made before. Okay, and let's open. Let's make the window over here. Just a little bit to cover all of it. Let's put it right here. We'll make this a little bit smaller so we can see our let's make it quad so we can see the art. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can work on the screen. Okay, so you can put your game view here, the live view, if you want to see the shader live in here, and you will see the also see the full frame over here, and you will see the previews on the nodes as well. Okay, so I think we are ready to start with the shader. So another thing I want to mention here, the assets we are going to use in this tutorial, I exported them from the game for the training purpose, and I will not be able to share them because I don't have the right for that, and I will share the shader file which is will work on it without the texture, which is will help you to build your own shader on any other art you are going to use. Okay, click and drag the frame art texture to the shader screen, and just connect the RGBA to the color, and we see here the result is the frame art texture. We are not seeing this in the game view because we didn't assign the shader to the material. So let's do it. So select the material and select the shader, which is we name it GIL frame art tutorial. Okay, now we can see the art on the game view. Okay, so to start building the shader, I'm going to explain a little bit the mechanics of the shader, how the layers are made, and how it works. To do so, I'm going to open the original scene. Okay, we open it right now. Let's save this. And let's pull it down. Let's save first, and let's pull it down. Okay. It's upside down. I don't know why. Okay, because of our view. Let's align for our camera. Yeah. Okay. As you see here, we have many effects. So let's deselect the camera so we can see everything clearly. I'll try to explain each effects, and then we're gonna try to remake them. So first of all, as you see here, there is a light flickering over here, and there is some effects about the fire, also some flows here like a magic flow. Okay, we have inside the tree and inside this trees as well there is effects going on, and there is global like cloud effect here, and we have the eyes over here shining in red as well. We have the logo on top of the picture, and all of these are layers on top of each others. So each layer are following a direction or a map flow, and it has a mask. So for example, if you see the green clouds over here going inside the tree, there is a mask over that which is going on the outside tree, and all this to mask this layer. Okay, so let's go back to our scene. Let's move this in the top. Okay. And let's open back our tutorial scene. It's on. Okay, it's upside down. Set the camera and align it to the view. Here it is. Okay. Okay, nice. So we're going to start with building the layers. Let's explain a little bit how the masks are done. So let's click and drag the mask texture on the shader view, and let's create a node, preview node. Okay, and let's bring the channels, each channel once and see. So if we see here, when we bring the red channel, we can see like two colors, white and black, and this is the first mask we are going to use. And the second one is another mask. I think it's better if we can like drag it directly to the preview so we can see it on the screen directly better. So if we bring it here, okay. So this is the mask which is on the R channel. This one is the mask on the green channel. This is on the blue channel, and this is the other mask which is in the alpha channel. Okay, as you can understand that each mask is covering its own. For example, if we go to the alpha channel mask, you can see that this is the mask where the flow which is inside the tree, inside the eyes and the mouth of this tree, which is the flow, it's going up, and it's masked by the white color. Okay, so we're going to use this mask which is layered in the same textures as each channel individually done. So let's start with the first layer, which is, we said, which is the flow which is going inside the trees. Okay, to do so we have to use this texture. As you see here, there is the blue side, the green side, and the red side. Okay, the green side will be flowed into this area, the blue into this area, and the red, which is the eyes where it is shining, will be on this area. So it will go from black to red, then the black to red, and black side. Okay, to do that we're gonna use these three images. So let's make this image moving. We have to make it moving to the top, so it will be we will simulate the effects that inside the tree the flow is moving up. Okay, to do so we have to create a time node. Okay, so we can see better. Okay, from the time node we have to create another node for tiling offset. This will assign it to the UV of the image. Okay, so if we link this to the offset, you'll see that the image is moving on both directions, which is the UNV, and so but we wanted to move only on the to the up side. So what we have to do, we have to create new node as vector 2. Okay, assign this to the y, okay, and let's keep it 1 as per the offset, default offset, and we assign to the offset. Okay, now it's moving down, so we have to inverse it to move up, and we have also to control the speed. To do that, we have to make a multiply node, so pulling the time to the A, and this will be our speed. So what we are going to do, we need to expose this to the material so we can control the speed. To do that, we have to create new property, which is a vector1, one single value. We call it, let's say, play one speed, because we'll be naming the layers. So we'll have other speed in other layers, so we have to distinguish them. Okay, we'll put it by default like 0.2, and let's link it to the B. Okay, we still have the same thing. So we can like change this. We need to multiply this by the speed and put it on the y direction. Now, as you see, it's moving like on down, and it is slower. So our speed will be controlling this flowing down. And to inverse it to move up, we can just put this to minus, and it will be inversed. Okay, so we have our image, texture is flowing up. Now we want it to flow on top of the main art using this mask. So to do that, let's first put it on top of the main layer. So we'll create an add node, and this one we'll put it on A, and we'll add this on top of it. Let's put it here. Let's save it. Okay, as you see here, we have the 3 zones here, and it's really the texture is on top of the other one, and it's flowing out. Okay, so now we have to adjust the zones on the picture. First of all, let's add a new node over here, styling and offset, and let's adjust the main image on our frame, because I think it's not fully visual here. So let's hide the other flowing image. Let's connect this directly to see only our art image there. Let's save it. So as you see, when we save it, will take a little bit of time to make the changes in the game view. So we'll not be able to adjust the tiling and offset of the image from here, because we'll need every time to save and wait for that time to apply on the game view. To avoid that, we have to expose these parameters on the material. So to do so, we have to add a new, let's say, vector for the tiling and offset. Okay, so let's call it tiling and offset. Let's bring it here, and we need to split it. Let's create split now. And we have to make a vector 2 and duplicate this vector 2. We have to put the R and G here for the tiling, B and A here for the offset, and we link it to the tiling and offset. Okay, so XY will be tiling, and Z and W it's the offset. So tiling should be 1 1 by default, and this 0 0. And after we do that and save, we'll be finding this parameter in the material. So let's move it up. Okay, let's move it up. So this is vector 1, this is vector 4, and let's save it. After that, we go and select our material, which is this one, and we can see the options over here. And now we can play with the options and see the result on the game view directly. So what we are going to do, we are going, let's say, to change this here. So like 0 2. Yeah. So on the Y as well, let's bring the image down here. This is the X, so we can move it a little bit on the X, say 0.2. It should be minus 0.2. Yeah, move it a lot. So 4, say 6. 8 is too much. So yeah, we need to increase this more than that. So 1.5, 6. Okay. As well on the Y. Switch. 2 is fine. Okay. And this one to make it more. 3, so 4. Okay. This is just 0. This is diamond. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now I think it's fine. After that, we need to copy this figures over here, so it will be saved on the shader graph. I hope they can like synchronize the figures as well. I mean, from the material to back to the editor. So this is 1.16. 0.05 0. Okay, so we have our tiling setup. Okay, so let's move this forward a little bit, and we have to work on this tiling as well. So for the layer 1, so we will expose this tiling as well. So what we have to do, we're going to create a new node, new property, as a vector 2. We're going to do layer 1 tiling. Bring it here and link it to the tile. Okay, should be 1, 1, 1, and we need to put the link back for to see the tiling on top of the picture. Okay, so as we exposed this, let's change the order here. So the tiling is first. Let's save it. Okay, let's select the material back and let's change those values. So the green will be on this both trees. We don't need the blue there. As well on this the eyes should be the red on there. So to do so, we have to play with this. This is the Y, so we can increase the number of the cloud flowing up. This is the X. So as well, we need the offset to play with the offset a little bit. To do so, we need to another vector 2 for the offset. We could do it the same way we did it here. So let's do it the same. I think it's better. So let's duplicate those. We'll put this on the tiling. We'll put those on the offset. Okay. We'll change this to the vector 4 one. So let's delete this. And see this. Okay. Let's add the new vector 4. Layer 1. Offset. Tiling should be 1 from the within. Default values. Bring it over here. We'll link it to this. Okay. as you see here on the offset on the y-axis, we don't need this, so we're gonna connect it to this directly, so we keep the moving the further offset. Okay. But this one, I think we need to remove this first, and we need to link it directly to the Y. Yeah. So we are back to the movement. Okay. And we have our property here. So let's move that. Let's save. Okay. And let's change the values over here. So we said we will change this and move it. So move it to be on the correct zone. So now we have the green over here, we have the blue over here, and that's still we're missing this eye on the red. So let's give it a little bit of this, and let's move it also. Okay, let's move it back a little bit. 5. 30. Okay. 28 should be fine for all of that. Let's put it 27 on the safe side. Okay, so we have both eyes covered with red. This section is covered with blue, and this section is covered with green, but we have a problem over here, which is the red is covered. Okay. To avoid that, we need to erase this, like so, and move this back. Stay a little bit. So 7, 7. So yeah, I think we're fine now. Okay, so let's copy this figures to the parameters over here. So it's 1.77. This is 1. This is 0.24. This is 0. Okay, we have our tiling and offset setup. Now what we have to do is to apply the mask, so we can see only the parts that we should see on this top layer. To do so, let's select and move these nodes down to organize the graphs a little and to give space. We need to add a new node, multiply node. We have to multiply this RGB apply the alpha node, which is the mask of the top layer. Okay. Then we need to replace this thing here. Okay. But if you see here, we first of all, the mask is not following the UV of the main texture. To fix that, it's only we have to grab this UV and we link it to the mask, so it will be on the same place. And the mask is inversed, so we have to inverse the color of the mask to match the black and white. So the black will be hidden and the white will be shown, because in this mask, if we add preview node to the alpha, we see that the black is masked, so we masked the wrong zones. So we have to switch this to inverse this. I think they have inverse node, inverse color. Okay. We need to go to here, and we need to inverse the alpha. Let's zoom in. Actually, in here we can inverse only one channel. This alpha is going directly to the red by default. That's why we cannot select the others. So we have to inverse the red. Let's delete this. And we'll multiply the other images with the red. And then we'll plug it in here. And let's see what will happen. Okay, great. So let's see it bigger. Let's zoom in. Okay. As you see here, our mask is applied and it's working fine. Even the eyes are shining. But let's go back and adjust the speed. And we need also to adjust the offset of the top layer on the Y to give more like effect. Let's see. Let's go back. Okay, so we said we have to adjust the speed, which is this parameter, which is already exposed on our material. So let's make it a little bit slower, like 8. Bring it more down. Okay. It's too slow. Let's bring it back to 8. Okay. So it is 108. Yeah. And another thing. So here is our I think I put it put 08, but 008. Yeah. Okay. Now we have the speed that we want. Then we need to adjust the tiling to give it like more tiling on the Y. But yeah, we have our tiling over here, which is the Y. Let's change it here and see what will happen. 2.5. Okay, that sounds great. Mm-hmm. Okay, next we going to use, I think it's going a little bit slow, so let's increase it. I mean speed. Yeah, here like 0 1 is better. Okay, and let's see it on the screen. Yeah, it looks it's going like repeating too much in here. So we are going to modify that. We need to displace this top layer on other texture, so it looks like not repeating and flowing like some smoke flowing. So to do so, we'll use a displacement node, which is I create. It is not by default there in the shader graph, but you can make your own nodes as they mention on the documentation. By just for example, if you want to make a new node, you can select few nodes and make it as subgraph, converted to subgraph. And this, what it do, it will take all these nodes and make it as one node, which is having parameters and outputs. So I'll show you what we are going to do. So we'll create a new node and we'll work on a displacement UV node. Okay. This is not I create using that subgraph option. And if you double click on this, it will open the subgraph, how it is done. So if we try to I try to explain this. So this will accept one parameter, which is called RGBA here, which is like a texture, which is will displace the current flow map, which is on the top. It's not flow map, but it is like that smoke layer on this RGBA texture. Okay, and it will accept the UV of the RGBA texture and a displacement vector1 value. So we'll split it into RGBA channels. So we'll give the we'll multiply the R channel by the alpha, and we'll multiply the G channel by the alpha as well, and the two outputs will be exported to the vector 2 xy. Okay, and we'll add the UV to it, because this shader subshader node will accepting also UV if you want to do a rotation before, or any UV tiling or offset before. So this effect will be added on top of it. Then we'll do a lerp between both, the original UV and the UV displaced UVs you put by a displacement value, which is we're gonna get provide as a parameter, and then we'll have our UV output. So this is how it works, the displacement node. Let's go back to the our graph. So this is our displacement node. So how to use it? Okay. So to use this, we're gonna need a displacement texture. Let's select one texture that we want to displace on. Let's get this one, for example. This is or this one. Okay, it's like simple cloudy mask this texture. We'll plug it over here. Okay, we'll give the tiling node to the UV so we can play with it. Okay, and we are going to need also a displacement value. So we'll create a new vector1 parameter, layer 1, space. Okay, put 0.3 for example. Bring it over here. To here. Okay, and we'll have to give this to the UV of the smoke, flow, which is our layer, our top layer. All right. So select this. And connect it to here. Okay. So this is a displacement. If you see here, it's not moving anymore, but it is displaced. It's not moving because we didn't pass the correct UV to here, so we don't need this. Sorry, I deleted everything because it was selected. So I'm deleting only this, move this up, and I'm going to pass this in here. Okay, so as you see, it's moving and displaced at the same time. Okay, let's organize ourselves a little bit. So move this back, this selection. Okay, move this up, up, delete this. Let's save and see what will happen. Okay, it is displaced, but I think it is displaced too much. We have to change our displacement value a little bit. Let's put it 0.3. Save. Okay, so let's select the material and see what is the value on there. It's not changing because it is already saved. Let me do this and see what will happen. Yeah, let's increase it a little bit. 5. Okay, looks good, but this one is very big. So if you compare it with the UV of the this image, let's do something. Let's create new node so we can see what we are doing. Let's put add node. Okay, we'll add this to this. Then let's change the display. Okay, as you see over here, this looks very big compared to our art zone. So we need to increase this cloud density so it will affect more the the flow map. To do so, we have to change the UVs of this displacement texture. So let's create tiling over here. Okay, and let's copy this setup again. Copy paste. It's working. Okay. Connect the tiling on the offset, and I think we can only rename and delete. We cannot duplicate this. We create a new one, vector 4, call it layer 1, displacement, UVs, let's say, yeah, 94.1. Let's bring it to here, connect it, and let's give it a value like a bigger value. Say 2 times, 2 times, or 21, 2 times. Okay, let's see 4 times, 4 times. Okay, so we have this 4 times. We're gonna put back our setup. Let's go to this. Okay, and let's save and see what will happen. Okay, so we want to fix this. It looks not natural. If we can fix this, we'll play a little bit with the figures on the material over here. So let's move this back to 3, or let's say 2. Yeah, and let's bring back this to 3 and 3. Increase this to 4. Yeah, 3.5. I think it looks good now. Yeah, I think it's fine right now. So I want to decrease this a little bit more to see. Yeah, it's okay here. 2. Yeah, now it looks better. Okay, I think we are done with this part. So in the next part we are going to work on the next layers. And thank you for your follow-up with this tutorial, and see you on the next part.